What is up? I figured I would put us out in front of the White House with a newly designed but much smaller dumpster. Um, anyway, crazy week. Guess the first thing that I'll bring up if folks want to discuss it is the explosion that happened at that ammunition. I don't know if that's the correct word to call it, ammunition facility. Sounds to me like they made much higher level stuff for military type stuff. It's not like they were making AR-15 rounds or nothing like that. Sounds like they were making stuff related to rockets and whatnot. So, I've caught a couple of the press conferences, and you can just tell just by how the sheriff spoke. There's not much of anything left, and it was really crazy hearing them try to answer questions. There's going to be instances to where they're going to be lucky if they can find a small fragment of somebody. And the only thing that they can do is do DNA testing to say, well, this is part of so-and-so. But when you have an explosion like that, it pretty much vaporizes soft tissue. That was a big explosion. So crazy. As far as my thoughts as to whether it was sabotage, I think that it's very possible. Very possible. I know one of the press briefings, they said that one of the things that they were indeed looking into was if anybody's phone rang at the same time as the explosion. So they were going to do investigations into things like that as well to see if they could track down if there was foul play and where there was foul play and go from there. Accidents happen, but it's the damnedest timing for an accident like that to happen at a facility like that. So, we'll see. So I've been kind of keeping my eye on that. One thing that I kind of backed away from pretty quickly. Yeah, you're right, Hetty Hayes. They didn't see it coming, and thankfully for them, they had no idea what happened. It was an instantaneous thing, which if there's anything for the families to find comfort in, it's that. They didn't suffer. That's about the best you can offer. The media was pressing the sheriff, though, on the issue of finding bodies and stuff like that. And, after you sit there and you talk to the families and stuff like that, and you see their pain, their anger, it's kind of hard to stand there, talk to a media that, for the most part, has no personal connection to the story, and try to explain to them that with an explosion of that scale, you're going to find just fragments of people. So, I did hear, I think it was the last report that was done, they said something about finding material of some kind. They didn't say what it was, material of some kind 2 miles away from the blast location. So I am sure um, that there is fragments that are blown for a considerable amount of distance. I would imagine, I would think that they've already had cadaver dogs out in the area. But I don't even know that level of an explosion. I don't even know that they would even try, because that's pretty crazy. I wasn't speaking about their souls. I was speaking about their earthly presence. Their souls, that's between them and the Father, not me. Let's see. Oh, I was going to mention I kind of largely kept quiet on the whole conspiracy theory stuff going on. I've been kind of paying attention to Candace Owens, and I always pay attention to Tucker. I have a lot of questions about the Charlie Kirk shooting. I don't know if anybody is necessarily giving the correct information yet at this time. I have no idea. I'm not going to put my belief behind one story or another, because we know they aren't being straight with us. We know that much. Meaning the official account. And from there, what are people supposed to do? People are going to make up stories. I think something's up, and I think it needs to be looked into. I really, truly do. As far as how deep that it could go, it could go as deep as it can get. Unfortunately, some humans are just very, very evil people. And who knows what their temptations could have been, or whatever. And I'm not making any kind of excuses for them. What I'm saying is, there is something very messed up with that whole situation. And it's very interesting. The information that's come to light, the text messages, the conversations, and stuff like that. Pretty interesting stuff. And I think it really needs to be looked into. And I really think it's time that people in the United States pull the wool off their eyes when it comes to certain nation states. Because I'm telling you, they'll lead us directly to hell if we let them. Hang on. Alrighty. Let's see. Yeah, so that's why I've been I haven't said much about the whole Charlie Kirk thing. There has to be information that I feel comfortable is accurate. And they're just not, we're not getting that. We're not getting that. And while I don't fall for any of the gazillion conspiracy theories that's come out, I know to keep my eyes open. Oh, I don't know if you're Watchman, if you're asking about who will do the looking into the Charlie Kirk thing. I don't know. Hopefully somebody in position that can do that. Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's kind of crazy what's going on in a lot of places, Hetty Hayes. I was just watching a little bit of protests going on up in Chicago. Watched a little bit of a protest going on in Portland. Not a lot of it, but I watched some of that today. The furry thing is kind of messed up. Something that people need to understand. If you have so much of a dysphoria about yourself in any way that you think you're supposed to be something else, you need mental health help. And that's not a knock, that's not a thing to be ashamed of. But to expect myself, someone who recognizes it for what it is, to enable it, not going to happen. Not going to happen. You know, I don't care what dipshit's doing. I really don't. That dude, he's done enough to himself, and he'll figure it out. If this world ever goes sideways and we lose the power grid and all this other stuff, he'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. Right now, there's a lot of bullshit confidence because everything works like it's supposed to, or at least close. Because you can still go on Amazon and replace something or buy something new. You know, if that's your only way of prepping, is by what you possess, what you own, not what you can do, then your prepping is short-lived. That's all there is to it. And I've tried to teach that for the last 11, going on 12 years. Hell, it might have been 12. We might have just hit 12 years. I'm not sure. Man. I've always tried to teach the practical approach to preparedness. Also the approach that people don't have to run up credit cards or whatever in order to try to get ahead, try to get prepared. And unfortunately, because of, you can't blame it all on greed. Some of it's just plain old bullshit. And what YouTube did to creators was plain out bullshit. They took people that they were getting their bread and butter just from making YouTube content, and it wasn't hard to do. If you were willing to get out, put a little bit of effort into it or whatever, you could make a a decent amount, even if it was just for a side gig. But then what happened was they started playing all that nonsense, and this started before COVID. They really started kind of to rein things in before COVID. When COVID happened, it's like the government gave them the nod to go ahead and take massive amounts of control over free speech. And now I'll tell you, my advice for folks is to make damn sure you're as ready as you can be as soon as you can be. Because what I see when I look out on the horizon, it's not looking good. We've got domestic issues that are beyond falling apart. And then we've got foreign issues that are flying apart. Oh, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, I mean, well, we told the truth, and we've told the truth from jump, and that's all there is to it, and that's why YouTube will not put us. Man, that's one of the frustrating things about YouTube. You hear all these YouTubers cry about the algorithms and how they don't get thrown in the algorithms, but yet they're doing everything they can to get in the algorithms. And that's a bunch of fake conspiracy crap itself. There are most certainly channels that are shadow banned, and they aren't the channels that are popular. They aren't the channels that have over 100,000 subs. Those are the drama queens that like to use that bullshit for attention. The channels that don't get taken up by the algorithms doesn't get seen. Period. You don't see them in suggested. I know when we're seen in a suggested video. I can show you when we're seen. I can show you right now where we were shown in suggested videos. Give me a second here. Get in there. There we go. So, there was a couple of videos that I had done. Oh, these were lives. So, videos. There was a video that I did here. I was talking about Secret Service dismantles the telecom threat. My videos don't typically get a lot of views. That one got almost 300 views. So, and 12 likes. I think maybe one unlike. I don't know. It doesn't show the unlikes, but there's apparently at least one. And then this one here, the one I did when I was out there just processing wood, that one got 266 views. So I had even asked myself when I saw that, did they lift our shadow ban? And it almost seemed like they did for a little bit, but I'm not so sure. Anyway, live's the same thing. On the 27th of last month, it seemed like they served the show out somehow, but who knows? Who knows? It's not tons, because I don't know. I'm debating putting a little more effort into it, but when I say that, I mean a little more effort. I don't mean a lot. I can most certainly make things look a little cooler. Spend some time with the production stuff. I kept chipping away at the fire until I came up with a fire that I could be happy enough with. So I think I'm good enough with that dumpster fire. I think that's a good enough one. Let's see. Oh, I don't. I ain't gonna do the name. I've already got other channels. I don't post on them. I ain't worried about it. And it's not my job to save the world. Oh, thank you. It's not my job to save the world. And I'm going to tell you a hard fact here. Not hard for you because you see it, you get it. I'm sure the Watchman sees it and gets it. There are a lot of sheep in the prepper space. A lot. And these people that are following all these channels, like they're damn near worshiping them. Don't be them. Don't be them. I know Bear says it every once in a while. He'll tell people that the whole idea is for people to be independent. That's the whole intent of his channel, was to teach people how to be independent. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. But even he has a lot of followers that are just complete sheep. Praise every word he says, and it's not a knock against him. That's not on him. He doesn't say, tell people to do that. This is things that they're doing on their own. Yeah, Angry Prepper's not that bad. My personality kind of clashes with the New York mindset, the New York attitude. Because we are just as much fuck you here in the Midwest as they are fuck you in New York. But we just try to be a little more kind about it. We just try to be a little more subtle about it. It doesn't bother me if he says the name Jesus or if he says Yeshua or Yeshua. That doesn't bother me in the least. It used to, when I was, I guess agnostic is more what I was. That's one of the things that I would use against Christians, is because they weren't calling Jesus by his name, and yet it was commanded that they did call him by his name. And I thought, wait a minute here. You've got this group of Christians, which is a big damn group of people, the largest religious group on the planet, and they were commanded to call him by name, and they don't. And then, of course, the Sabbath thing, any child old enough to be able to add 3 plus 2 or something like that can figure out that the Sabbath day is off. So, I mean, I don't know. Named, it doesn't bother me. Oh, let's see. What all else went on this week? Oh yeah. I guess Trump is going to give Zelensky Tomahawk missiles, cruise missiles. That's not a good thing. That is really not a good thing. You know, I thought when Trump was elected that the people's thoughts, their mindset was that no new wars and let's get out of the damn wars that we're involved in as it is. And, I'm pretty sure that was the understanding of the American voter. And now we're not just still paying for Ukraine, we're also going to give them long-range cruise missiles. So the other part of that equation is we're the ones that have to operate the equipment. Or at least maybe not necessarily push the button, but we got to let them know what button to push and when. Yeah, in any way, Russia sees that as U.S. involvement. And I don't know, man. I always try to keep that big picture look at things. And we could just be getting jacked around when it comes to this conflict between the U.S. and as far as between U.S. and Russia is concerned. We could just be getting jacked around. I don't know. It's been crazy. China concerns me. It really does. I'll have to check. I'll have to search for that channel, Watchman, for sure. Because I could use some good channels to watch. Cletus can only put out so much content. It's good to see Mullet's back in, or close to being back in action, though. Damn. Got to hear the engine run. I don't know. I want to talk about the New Madrid earthquake because that's like right by me. Yeah, that one's gonna suck, Watchman. Oh no, I have not watched that. Let me look that up right now so I can give myself a reminder to watch it. Let's see. That's a Netflix thing, eh? I don't have Hulu. Okay, well I will make it happen. Ain't none but a thing. Oh yeah, I did catch that too, Watchman, about Hegseth and Qatar, their little facility in Idaho. I did catch that. Um, you know, it's kind of a side note to that. It is crazy how bought and paid for some of the people that I have watched for a very long time has become. Tim Pool, you want to talk about somebody bought and paid for? The amount of Trump-splaining and Jew-splaining that Tim Pool has done in the past month or so is insane. Um, he had he had made a video and said something like, "This is something they do all the time," and kind of just like, "It's no big deal. We shouldn't have a problem with it." It's like, wait a minute. Where's this stuff that we're not supposed to be working with people who don't like us very much? Whatever happened to that? Because pretty sure something got lost or forgotten. Oh man. I'm still stoked about being able to rebuild these pods. Man, that is so awesome. Now I just gotta make enough money to get to order some coils and some cotton before shipping is completely cut off from China. Because unfortunately, Alibaba is the only place I know where to get it. I know there's a new 100% tariff that was added. So I don't know. I think I can rebuild them with regular wire and regular cotton, but it's going to take some getting used to doing. um, at some point in time, tungsten might be um very valuable. You know, because if let's say that something happened that took out the grid, whatever the theory is, the grid's down. There are going to be a lot of things like that people are really going to wish they had a way to find. Um, a lot of stuff like that, especially when it comes to like raw stock material like brass, copper, whatever, aluminum, steel. Um, all that stuff is going to be invaluable at that point. People will be working towards an entirely different life, different lifestyle, different, people aren't going to be getting aircraft aluminum tubing to build airplanes with. They're going to be getting it to build little water towers with, if you will. I mean, stuff like that. And I use that example because, well, Wick's aircraft happens to be in the in town. Yeah, those new washers and dryers, man. I don't think I would touch them with a 10-foot pole. I really don't. I've heard nothing good. Nothing good about any of it. The transmissions suck. The electronics suck. Especially what the LG and the Samsung, I think, are complete nightmares. I've heard to stay away from. And I like Samsung phones, but I heard their appliances are the worst. Ow. Oh, I am sore. Yeah, I would like to go back to like the 70s ones. Oh, right on, Watchman. Hell yeah. You mean in the top of the agitator? Yep, yep. Dude, keep that damn thing going for as long as you can. Make sure you got belts for it. Make sure you got an extra motor laying around, maybe another transmission, or at least the gears. You can probably still get the gears for it. My I've talked about my dad's dryer before. Man, that dryer he had was crazy. It was a prototype model. It wasn't a production model, so it's not like there was a bunch of these around. And it had two different heating circuits on it. It had a low and a high, and two totally separate systems. So it had two separate thermostats for triggering when the heating coils came on, two separate heating coils, circuit boards for both systems, and nothing on that dryer was standard. I can't remember the brand it was, but it was commercial size. It was a large, fairly large dryer for the time. Now they've got giant ones in comparison, but for the time it was a large dryer, especially for a home. And I think the washer was the initial washer that he got with it was part of the set, and it was big too. I'm not sure what happened to it. I think the transmission went out in the washer, and he couldn't do nothing about it because it was prototype. He couldn't get parts. Um, but that dryer, he could keep going one way or another, and eventually it only had one. It only had the high circuit. It no longer had the low circuit. But I can remember that was the time he set me on the floor and showed me how to take a nut, a bolt, and two washers and piece together a broken heating coil because he couldn't call up Marconi and order one because there wasn't a such one for that dryer. So yeah, yeah, there you go. That's awesome. You can still find the stuff on eBay. Yep, yep. That old stuff is amazing. You're like 250 into it. Yeah, that's how that works. Well, yeah, anything that's got electronics in it, you have to be mindful of the revisions. Um, because usually from the time a product releases to the time that they get a final revision, there is a ton of different changes. And everything on the outside might look the same, but the inside could be totally different. And when it comes to those boards, if it's a non-upgradable, updatable board, whatever it's programmed on, it's what's on it. And there could be considerable changes in both the software, the hardware, and everything else through the different revisions. And that's true with anything from TVs to refrigerators to anything like that. Yep, yep. They call that high potting when they fill it all in. There's other reasons that they do it too. That they high pot board. It's not just to keep people from being able to work on them. They do it for purposes of heat and other stuff. I mean, there's other reasons why they typically other reasons why they do it. It's not a tamper-proof thing. Sometimes it's to make sure that it keeps moisture out. um, the boards on treadmills, they had to be high potted to make sure to keep moisture out, because I mean, it sounds like a freak accident, and it would be, but if somebody sweated enough on a treadmill that they've got ran down in the electronics, you could create a shocking hazard. So all that stuff had to be high potted. Because here in the United States, we'll make laws that you gotta high pot the electronic boards so they can't be electrocuted that way, but we won't make a residential requirements for a grounding plug. Because they're smart that way. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Another one just today? Oh, wow. Couple hours, I guess, ago. One dead, two injured's what I'm reading. Here, let me, Mississippi Bureau of Investigation has been called to investigate a shooting on the campus of Alcorn State University that left at least one person dead and two injured. Happened around 6:30 p.m. Let's see. There's no word, though, if it's still an active scene or what. Crazy. That was a couple hours. This here says shelter in place, so it's crazy. Their homecoming football game today. It's crazy. Absolutely nuts. Oh, JLR Investigates is talking about it. Oh, man. I am freaking tired, beat, sore. Been watching a fair amount of Stone Mountain 64 playing Battlefield 6 today. I'm really glad that EA pulled it off. That they pulled off another successful Battlefield title. It's about damn time. Oh, I'm reading what you're saying about the old monkey things. You should be able to make it remote control easy enough. And make it rechargeable. I mean, either one of those things should be no problem. Yeah, I hope I eventually can get it, Hetty Hayes. That looks kick-ass. It looks really kick-ass. Oh, man. Well, I think I am going to motivate out of here and get ready for bed. I am tired. I am absolutely tired, so didn't get a whole lot accomplished today. It just bore out. So, anyway, I am going to get out of here. I will chat with you all in a week. Something, I don't know, if I feel for whatever reason encouraged, inspired to make a video or whatnot, I will. Other than that, I'll see you Saturday night. So, hope you all are doing well. Hope you have a good week. We'll see you soon. Shalom.